Hello students, welcome back to Growing Minds. In the previous lecture, you have learned where did the people live and why did they travel from one place to another place in the past. And today we will learn different names of land and finding out about the past. So, first of all, I want to tell you the different names of land. Two of the words we often use for our country that are India and Bharat. The word India comes from Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. All of you know about the Indus River. So that was called Sindhu also. It is Sindhu name is in the Sanskrit language. The Iranian and the Greek who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago, they were familiar about the Indus River. So the people, those who want to conquer India, Iranian and Greeks, when they entered into India from the northwest side of the country, they knew that time also they knew very well about the Indus River. So they called this Indus River Indus or Indus. So the land to the east of the river they called India. That's why the name of our country is Hindustan. Now we have another name also, the name Bharata. India was called Bharata also. It was used for the group of people who lived in the northwest and who are mentioned in the Rig Veda. Rig Veda is one of the important Veda of the four Vedas in our history. In that Veda is written in the Sanskrit language, and it is mentioned that the people who lived in the northwest of the part of the country, they were called Bharata. From that we got the name Bharatvash also. Now the another topic is finding out about the past. How do we get knowledge about the past? So there are the several ways of finding out about the past. One is to search for the read books and that are written long ago. Now today you can see today you are learning about history from your books. And have you any knowledge how the material which is written in the books, for where did the writers got it? They got from the different books that has been written in the historical time. So some books were written handwritten. That time printing press was not there, so they have written the books with the hand and they are called manuscripts. Handwritten material is called manuscripts. So this comes from the Latin word called manu. Manu means hand. So the books written with the hand, they are called manuscripts. Is it clear? This manuscript word from where it has come? From the Latin language. These were usually written on the palm leaves. As you know, that time paper was not invented, so they have written on the palm leaves or on the specially prepared bark of tree known as the birch, which grows in the Himalayas. Birch tree, it's a very big inside, so it was used for writing the material. Now you can see the one picture of the manuscript. It is written on the palm leaf. Over the years, many manuscripts were eaten by the insects. Some were destroyed, but some have survived, often preserved in the temples and the monasteries. Monasteries means a place where monks live. So, many of the palm leaves manuscript, they were eaten by insects or they destroyed in the rain or some other problems were there. But some are still preserved in the temples and monasteries. These books dealt with all kinds of subjects. You can get knowledge of the different subjects from these books, like religious beliefs and their practices, means religions of that time and how did people, their traditions, their different customs also. The lives of the kings also, medicine, science, and so many other things, their languages, lifestyle, different things you can get knowledge from these manuscripts. Besides, there were epics, poems, and plays also. So different other resources also we have like epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata also, some poems also, some plays also written by Kalidasa and other writers also. We got the knowledge about our past. Many of these were written in the Sanskrit language. and others were written in the Prakrit and the Tamil. Here I want to tell you, Sanskrit was the language of the higher class people like Brahmins and kings. And Prakrit was the language of the common people and Tamil also. Prakrit was mostly used in the north of our country and Tamil was used in the south of our country. But most of our epics and some other manuscripts, they are written in the Sanskrit language. You can also study inscriptions. Now, next topic is inscriptions. These are the writing on the relatively hard surface, such as the stone or the metals. Sometimes king got their orders inscribed on that people could see, read, and obey. Now, inscriptions means they are not written material on the paper, on the palm leaves. They are the written material inside the caves also, or inside the temples also, or sometime on the iron pillar also. You know about the Ashoka pillar of the Sarnath. Why did king inscribe their orders so that the common people can also read that? These are other kinds of inscriptions such as well. Their men and women, include kings and queens, recorded there what they did. For example, kings often kept the records of the victories in the battle. So that time, kings mostly they fought the battles, and many times they won also. And about their battles, how they won the battle, about their power and other things, they inscribed on the pillars or inside the you can say temples and the on the walls also. Now here you can see one inscription. There were many other things that were made and used in the past. Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. Now we, the common man, we cannot go and do the search for the things related to our history. All this work is done only by the people who have the mastery in that, and so that's why they are called archaeologists. They study the remains of the buildings made of stones and brick, paintings and sculptures, etc. They also explore. Explore means to find out, and excavate. Now the word excavate means digging under the surface of the earth. To dig the earth, they find out the things related to our history, to find the tools, weapons, pots, and so many other things. Some of these objects, pens, ornament, and coins. Some of these objects may be made of the stones, others of the bone, baked clay, or the metal. Objects are made of the hard, imperishable substances. Imperishable substances means the durable substance like iron and stones, etc. That's why these things are available in these days also, and we are going to get knowledge about our past. Now you can see the picture of various things that has been found by the archaeologists from various places, one pot, some stamp or coin also. These things you can see in the different museums also, and you can get knowledge about our history. Now archaeologists also look for the bones of the animals, birds and the fish. Why did they look for this? Because from these they can search which things they are going to eat, which was their food. Next is the historians, that is scholars who study the past. Historians or the archaeologists, they are called a scholar also, often use the word source to refer to the information found from the manuscripts, inscriptions, and archaeologists. Today we have discussed these three topics. So once resources are found means anything that is found, maybe manuscript, maybe inscription, or maybe archaeology. Once resources are found, learning about the past become an adventure. So as we reconstructed it bit by bit. Now, as you are studying history, why it is easy for you to study history? Because it has been in a sequence way. This is the basic of the history that today you are going to study by the historians of the country. So historian and the archaeologists are like detectives. Like detectives are going to collect the proofs or the evidence to prove anything. So in the same way, historians are also like the detective who use all these resources. Which resources? Manuscripts, inscription, and archaeologies, like the clues to find out about our past. So that was about today's topic. I hope the things are clear to you. In next lecture, we will discuss about one past or many past. I hope everything is clear. Thank you for watching the video.